boy, Henny the Ward, reporting live from the liquor store, man. How's everybody doing this morning? And hey, I know it's a little bit early. I know it's not even 11 o'clock right now. But man, it's 6 o'clock somewhere in the world, man. Somewhere in the world, it's time to go and make a liquor store run, man. We know we're going to come in here in the liquor store and get drunk off that Dallas Cowboys content together, man. So, hey, we got a lot to talk about. It is the off season. We're going to talk about sneaky needs for the Dallas Cowboys. Do we really need offensive lineman in the first round, or should we be looking at a skill position? And we're also going to talk about building contenders, man. Because listen, I know that we're used to what the Dallas Cowboys have rolled out there, building through the draft. We like our guys, all that other nonsense and foolery. But contenders build their teams through free agency, man. You said the sound is low. Oh, hold on. Let me work that out. I got you. All right, can y'all hear me now? It should be straight again. I hope so anyway. Yeah, let me know what the sound sounded like right now, man. Let me know what the sound sounded like. Hold on. Yeah, y'all let me know what the sound sounded like. Still low? Hold on. Hold on. Got a little bit of technical difficulty this morning, but we're going to figure it out, man. Give me a second. Yeah, give me a second to figure out what's going on with the sound. Lower music. I'm going to check the inputs and the outputs. Let me see. Y'all still can't hear me? Or is it just low? Let me know something. You can barely hear me. It shows the wrong day for this promotion. Let me try this. Hold on. All right, I think that's better. I think it's better now. Hold on. Yeah, I think I got it finally. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did this sound? Because I think I got my stuff going in and out the correct way now. Because I think I had it flip flopped. I think I had the microphone processing the output. All right, so I think we're good now. I think we're good. All right, so y'all disregard that technical difficulty, man. The liquor store is open for business. The cash register's working. The lights is on. Water's running. You know, everything Gucci at this point. All right, James Simmons says a 10. All right, we good then, man. We good then. So now that that's out the way, man, y'all know the usual rules and regulations when you tap in with your boy, Henny the More inside the liquor store, man. First and foremost, I need all y'all good people to hit that like button. The more likes that we get on these YouTube videos, man, the more that the algorithm push the content that we drop, man. So if you got love for Henny the More, you want to see the platform grow and strive and continue to do good things, man, hit that like button. It goes a very, very, very long way in helping your independent content creator grow and flourish, man. So if you got love for me, hit that like button. If you got love for me, also make sure you hit that share button. Because one, I know everybody, auntie, mama, grandmama, told you that sharing was caring. But outside of that, you know, we believe in manifestation inside the liquor store, man. So, hey, if you want the Dallas Cowboys to win title number 6 in 2024, I need y'all to go ahead and share the content 6 times and drop 6 emojis. Now, I know folks came in hot dropping 6 emojis earlier, man. So let me see who already helped us practice manifestation in the liquor store, man. Let me see. Yeah, Miss Regina Green with the green already out here helping us with the manifestation. I see the 6 hearts, the 6 flames, and the 6 trophies. So she tripled up on her manifestation. My boy Willie T with the 6 shot glasses. I see you helping us practice manifestation inside the liquor store, man. Salute to y'all good people. Calvin Jefferson with the 6 cigarettes, because we smoking on 6 ops, man. We smoking on all our big ops this year, man. I see that. Meek Phillips with the 6 sticks of dynamite, because the Dallas Cowboys finna blow in 2024. For sure, man. Hey, thanks for the love and support and helping us practice manifestation in the liquor store, man. So y'all done hit the likes, y'all done hit the share. Now I need y'all to slap the shit out of a damn Commanders fan, man. I still got smoke for them boys out there trying to steal our entire coaching staff. And hey, if you're able to find one, because listen, they everywhere right now. They out about talking crazy, doing everything under the sun to get on our skin at this point, man. So you're able to find and slap the shit out of a Commanders fan, man. I will be able to give you half off on all the merchandise inside the liquor store. And you know, we got exactly what you need to succeed over here, man. We got cow burritos, we got gin, we got hen, and everything else under the sun that can make you sin. So tap in with your boy, Henny the More, and come get drunk in the liquor store. All right, so now that all that's out the way, man, let's go ahead and dive head first into the content, man. Because I really want to start with the fact that Contenders build in free agency, right? And really, when you look around the league and you look at the teams that have put together successful rosters, right? Teams that went to the damn Super Bowl, teams that won the damn Super Bowl, they don't conduct themselves in the offseason in the manner that the Dallas Cowboys conduct themselves, right? When we're thinking about the offseason, we're super heavy in the draft as a community because we know the Dallas Cowboys build their team through the draft because they like to have young, cheap talent, right? They like a roster that is comprised of young, cheap talent, right? And even this year, I know that we had Dak and we had CeeDee Lamb, these other veterans. The Dallas Cowboys were still the second youngest team in the National Football League this year because the Dallas Cowboys build and fill out their roster through the draft. They want young guys. They like rookie contracts. They like having a deal on the player that's out there playing, right? So they look at it from that standpoint. But the teams that are out here competing and winning championships and are going to the Super Bowl do not conduct their rosters in that manner. They build their teams through multiple good free agency runs, right? They build their team through multiple good free agency runs. Now, don't get it twisted. They still hit in the draft. There's still players that they get in the draft that come in and fill roles and things like that. I will never sit here and tell you that it's all strictly through free agency. But the issue is the Dallas Cowboys only fill out their roster through the draft. They don't necessarily go out there and try and sign premium talent or trade for premium talent like these other teams that construct these winning rosters. And I got a couple of examples for you pulled up right here. So this is just Hold on, let me go to Windows. All right. So boom. So I think everybody can see what I'm seeing right now. I conducted a list of free agent signings and trades conducted by some of these premier teams who have been to a Super Bowl or have won a Super Bowl. And then, I'm going to actually look at the Chiefs in a second too. But I got 3 teams right here who built a majority of their roster through through trades and through free agency, right? So look at some of the moves that the San Francisco 49ers have made. The 49ers who consistently put us out of the playoffs and consistently beat us when we play them, right? So I get it. We hate them. They the ops. They the people we want to get over. But we also gotta take notes and do a little bit of homework on how they constructed such a talented team that's hard for us to overcome. So you remember they didn't have a quarterback at one point, right? Even before they went out there and did all this stuff to try and get Trey Lance, trade away their future, and then they ended up with Brock Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant. When they first went to the Super Bowl, that first time around, they traded for Jimmy Garoppolo. They wanted Jimmy Garoppolo to come in and be the quarterback of the future for them. And at the time, people were very high on Jimmy Garoppolo. We know what he turned out to be, but Jimmy Garoppolo was a highly touted quarterback that was behind Tom Brady. Bill Belichick raved about him. He loved Jimmy Garoppolo. In fact, he tried to push Tom Brady out the door for Jimmy Garoppolo. People forget that. But they made a move and they acquired Jimmy Garoppolo to come over and be their quarterback, right? So that was one of the moves that they made even before any of these other things. That was one of the moves that helped them get to a Super Bowl the first time around. Then this year, then the last couple of years, look at the other moves that they made in this current construction, right? Because that was prior, and this is the current construction we're going to talk about next. He said, I'm all in HTM sports. I can't enjoy football being pessimistic, realistic, doom and gloom, or what have you. I'm all in. Call me crazy or unrealistic. I don't care. I'm all in. Hey, I'm all in too, bro. I just want the Dallas Cowboys to be all in too, man. So that's why we talking about it. And hey, if they make the moves that need to be made, we can be happy about it. Because I need them to make similar moves to these other teams that have been contenders these past couple of years. So remember, another move that they made, they went all in. They went and got and traded for Christian McCaffrey. It wasn't this season, it was last year. Right? They went and made a move for Christian McCaffrey in the 2023 season. Traded away multiple picks to get one of the best running backs in the National Football League. And it paid dividends. Listen, Brock Purdy did well, but they also were the team with the least amount of pass attempts in the National Football League. So even though he was surrounded by talent, even though he had a Deebo Samuels, a Brandon Ayuk, a George Kittle, there was a reason that Christian McCaffrey was the Offensive Player of the Year. So Christian McCaffrey one of the driving forces that got them to the Super Bowl. Led the league in rushing, had a shit ton of touchdowns overall. So, that was a move that paid dividends for them to go there. So remember, Christian McCaffrey was not nobody they drafted. They wasn't one of their guys. They went out there, were aggressive, and they signed one of the most talented running backs in the National Football League to put behind their offensive line in their scheme, and they benefited from it. I want you to also remember that they made a trade for Chase Young. Now, I know Chase Young was dealing with injuries most of his career. I know that Chase Young hasn't had the career up to this point that most people thought he would have. But Chase Young is still a first-round talent. He's still a guy that is super athletic, and he paid dividends for them, especially in the Super Bowl. He was making plays, right? So Chase Young, they went out there and they made a move to get a Chase Young. Chase Young would probably start in Dallas, right? Regardless of what we think about him, he'd probably start in Dallas, man. Or he would at least take the snaps away from a Dorrance Armstrong, or take the snaps away from a Dante Fowler. Even if you don't think he'll flat out start, because we do value what DeMarcus Lawrence does, stopping the run, right? He would still be somebody that would be a key piece in Dallas, right? this year and in the future. So, yeah, you can't poo-poo on that. Randy Gregory. They made a move and acquired Randy Gregory from the Denver Broncos. Randy Gregory was somebody we tried to throw a lot of money at Randy Gregory to keep him in Dallas. There were a lot of people that were sad to see Randy Gregory walk out the door and go to Denver. And they made a move and they got him. Right? And listen, it's crazy. Because at one point, Randy Gregory and Chase Young were two of the best defensive ends, edge rushing prospects in the NFC East. Right? They were two of the most, touted prospects in the NFC East at one point. And the 49ers went out there and got both them boys and added them to a team. And they both paid dividends for them, helping them in their rotation of pass rushers. Like, they probably had one of the deepest defensive lines in the National Football League, adding those two dudes out there. And also still having Bosa, right? So they had a plethora of defensive talent. And most of them boys they added. Let's go even further. Another acquisition that they made to improve their team. They signed Javon Hargrave. Javon Hargrave, defensive tackle, had 11 sacks last year for the Philadelphia Eagles. Had 11 sacks last year for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Hold on. Let me see what he did for them this year. And this was after, right? This was after they used the first round pick on Kinlaw. Yeah, he came over, had another season of great production. He had 7 sacks for the 49ers this year. Right? Javon Hargrave had 7 sacks for the 49ers this year from the defensive tackle position. Graded out as a 73.9 overall. So they got their money worth. Greatly improved their damn defensive line by going and adding Chase Young, going and adding Randy Gregory, going and adding Javon Hargrave. Right? Look at all that talent that they went out there and stockpiled just by signing people. Right, they signed people and they traded for people that weren't happy in their at their current spot. Like the relationship between Chase Young and the Commanders were at an all-time low, and they traded for him. Right, they wanted to go in a different direction. Randy Gregory was not happy in Denver anymore. Right, they were supposed to be competing for championships, and they were a lottery team, so they got him out of there. Signed Javon Hargrave. They didn't even need Javon Hargrave, and they still went out in free agency and signed that man. They already had one of the best front sevens in the National Football League. They already had one of the best front sevens in the National Football League, and they still went out there and got a defensive tackle that had 11 sacks the season prior, man. Come on. And then this one, every time I see this boy name, I get a little upset because he was a Dallas Cowboy at one point. And we let him go to Kansas City, where he flourished and started with one of the best man coverage corners in the National Football League. They went out there and signed Charvarius Ward, who was one of the best coverage cornerbacks in the National Football League. They went out and got him. They didn't draft, and that's the thing. They didn't draft no guys and were hoping that they were going to go out here and develop into something. They went and got people they already knew were good. Everybody knew Christian McCaffrey was good already. They just didn't know if he could stay healthy. Everybody knew Chase Young was a good defensive end. They didn't have to hope and wait and pray that he developed into something. You already got film on him in NFL and how he played and how he maneuvered. They already knew that Randy Gregory was super talented and had elite being and all these other aspects that translate to winning football. They already knew that Javon Hargrave was a damn good defensive tackle. He just went and helped a team get to the Super Bowl the year prior. Like, he just helped the Philadelphia Eagles go to the Super Bowl in 2022. So they knew that he was like that. They didn't have to hope and pray, wish upon a star that he developed into something. They went and stockpiled talent that was already proven, and it paid dividends for them. They already knew that Charvarius Ward was like that. He was already grading out as one of the best man coverage corners in the National Football League. They didn't have to hope and pray that he developed into this, that we hit on him. There was already evidence of what he was. And that's why teams that go out there and they spend in free agency, that's why they're successful. Because you get a bunch of dudes that are already proven commodities on your team that can help you fill those holes and execute your game plan. And that's the difference in between a team like the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. That's why we can't beat them. Because we keep running out kids. We keep running out children out there to try and beat these boys. Right? They already got proven commodities that they added on with their proven draft picks, right? Because they did both. Nick Bosa panned out, right? He was a draft pick that they had, flourished. Fred Warner was a draft pick they had, they flourished. But they didn't stop there. Just because you already had good players on their roster, they didn't stop just there and said they were enough. They added two of the better pass rushers in the NFL in Chase Young and Randy Gregory. They added one of the best interior defensive linemen in Javon Hargrave. Like, just because you already had good players doesn't mean you can't get better. And that's why teams like the 49ers continue to win, right? So they went out there and they stockpiled talent, and that helped propel them to multiple NFC championship games and a Super Bowl, right? Now let's go even further. Let's go and look at what the Cincinnati Bengals did. So this is actually moves that the Cincinnati Bengals made from 2020 to 2021. Right? This is over the years. This is how they built their roster. And I'm going to show you, like, yes, they did hit on Joe Burrow. They did hit on T. Higgins. They did hit on Jamar Chase. But look at some of the other players that they added that helped them win. Right? Look at some of the other players that they added through trade or free agency that helped them win. They built pretty much their entire defense through free agency. Von Bell was one of the best box safeties in the National Football League, playing for the New Orleans Saints, and they signed him to a multi-year deal in 2020. That was the start of it. They went in, they signed DJ Reader from the Houston Texans, who was a free agent this year and is one of the best defensive tackle prospects out there that I need the Dallas Cowboys to go get. Well, they went and they signed DJ Reader, and he helped them immensely. Trey Hendrickson was coming off of a career year with the New Orleans Saints. Right, they loved all the Saints players, apparently, because they signed two of them. He was coming off of a career year with the New Orleans Saints, had 13 and a half sacks, and they said, that's our guy. Because they didn't have any key pass rushers. They didn't have any key safeties. Their defense was in shambles. So, they saw that they were hitting, right? They said Chase Young probably isn't going to come back because he has some lack of effort on tape. Randy Gregory didn't do much. Jimmy Green was the original plan, but he's out. But listen, they paid dividends. It doesn't matter what happened afterwards. Chase Young went out there and got a sack and made multiple plays in the Super Bowl. Randy Gregory still helped them, right? Javon Hargrave definitely helped them. Jimmy G was looked at as a top quarterback when they got him. And guess what? Say what you want about Jimmy G. He helped them get there. Right? They didn't sit on their hands and try and go out there and acquire no young ass quarterback. They went and got Jimmy G, who had been sitting behind Tom Brady and was already coached up by Bill Belichick. They went out there and they got those players to help contribute. So, like, I get it, but you also can't just overlook the contribution that they gave to the team. Right? Because they be asking dudes that already had pedigree to be the people that fill in and help them. We be asking kids off the street, fresh out of college, to come in and do the same role that they ask veterans to do. Right? So who would be the role that Chase Young and Randy Gregory was in Dallas? Who was filling that role? Dorrance Armstrong, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler. You know? Like, we got those same roles. It just, the roles for them are filled with veterans, former first-round picks, guys with pedigree, shit like that. Or, like, listen, Randy Gregory was one of our best pass rushers when he was here. And then he went and became a rotational piece for them. Like, at the end of the day, we gotta look at the talent that we have and be honest, like, it just wasn't enough. It just ain't enough. It just ain't enough sometimes, bro, and it's okay to admit that. Especially when you look at some of the other teams. Like, we're on to the Bengals. Like, what fault can you say with the Bengals? They built most of their damn defense through free agency. They went and they signed our guy. We didn't want Cheeto here. But Cheeto, they already knew was better than the people that they had. They went and signed Cheeto. They knew that Trey Hendrickson over what he had done in New Orleans was better than anybody that they had, and they took a chance on him. By the way, Trey Hendrickson had 17 and a half sacks this year, right? Von Bell, they already knew that he was one of the best safeties in the National Football League, right? For at least for box players, and they went and signed him. So that's the point. Like we can sit on our hands and we can say we love our guys and do all this stuff, but at the end of the day, teams are out here building super teams, right? Teams are out here doing the Miami Heat, Golden State Warrior approach to team building in the NFL, and we're the mom and pops trying to draft. And no, it doesn't work like that no more. It just don't work like that no more. And even the teams that do build through the draft, they don't sit complacently at the spot that they're at. They trade up for people. They trade up to get people, or they trade a key player and get multiple draft picks so they can have more people to fill out their roster. The Dallas Cowboys do neither. Not only are they not aggressive in the draft, they're also not aggressive in free agency. And at some point, we're going to have to say something got to give. Right? When teams are stockpiling talent like that, you can't just go out there and sit on your hands and barely address free agency and not be aggressive in the draft either. Like, something has to give at some point, man. Especially when you see the blueprint for the teams that are having success. What was the blueprint for the teams having success? They pair their draft with a good free agency. We're all draft. We're all draft. They're out here getting good free agents to help fill out their roster, and that's the difference. That is the difference, man. It said Mike Zimmer don't play that hybrid. We will have a linebacker. Yeah, we'll have a linebacker. We might even get multiple linebackers if we're being honest. We might end up getting multiple linebackers, and I hope that's the case. So let's continue, right? What moves did the Los Angeles Rams make to fill out their roster and get better? Remember, we're talking about 2020, 2021 for them, because that's when they had their Super Bowl run. It said, what about the Chiefs? They let Juju and Tyreek walk. No, they traded Tyreek Hill. They didn't let him walk. They got 5 draft picks for Tyreek Hill. And matter of fact, they were also aggressive in the draft. Because remember, they didn't sit and wait for Patrick Mahomes. They traded away picks to go and get Patrick Mahomes. When they traded Tyreek Hill, they turned Tyreek Hill into Trent McDuffie and multiple other people on their defense that are already contributing. So you can't even use the Kansas City Chiefs because they don't even do the things that we do. Nobody does business the way the Dallas Cowboys do. Even the teams that build through the draft are aggressive. They traded up and when they got Patrick Mahomes. When they traded Tyreek Hill away, they turned those picks into key contributor on their defense. If they sat and waited like we do and made no moves, then that'd be a different story. But they still were aggressive in the things that they did. They turned Tyreek Hill into 5 draft picks. One of those draft picks turned into an all-pro corner. So it still ain't the same. Still ain't the same. The Dallas Cowboys are going to sit at 24 and draft at 24. I don't even know how far they came up to get Patrick Mahomes, but they moved. So yeah, you can't even compare that. And the Chiefs still aren't young, right? Because remember, they went out there and said, we looked into Micah and CeeDee Lamb. Thank God. Yeah. He said, but that's a quarterback. We looked into Dak and Romo. Yeah, I can agree with that part. I can agree with that. That's also why I have some misgivings about trying to find another quarterback if Dak Prescott's not here, right? Because they try to get y'all past the Lynch in the first round. Y'all don't remember that. They wanted Connor Cook. They wanted Johnny Manziel. Like, you really can't even trust the Dallas Cowboys front office to make moves like that, if we're being honest. Desmond Ironman, what's Gucci, my boy? Thank you for tapping in. So, yeah, the Dallas Cowboys sit on their thumbs. They wait for people to come to them. They aren't exactly aggressive, and they fail because of that. So listen, I have no issues if you say, hey, we should build through the draft. But you can't just sit at 24 or sit at 30 and expect to get life-changing players. You got to move up. If you might have to move a player to get draft picks. You might have to do something aggressive. But what you cannot do is do nothing and sit pat. Right? So let's talk about the Rams and what they did to build a winning roster. They got to the Super Bowl and won. Like, they loved Jared Goff, but they felt Matthew Stafford was a little bit better, and they made that trade, right? They went and traded for Von Miller to come over and be one of their key edge rushers. They signed Leonard Floyd, who was a free agent from the Bears, former first-round pick, and helped flush out their roster. They signed Andrew Whitworth, a multi-time Pro Bowl offensive tackle that Michael Parsons trains with in the offseason, by the way. They went and signed Andrew Whitworth. They went and signed A'Shawn Robinson to pair him up with Aaron Donald in the middle of their defense. They went and signed Odell Beckham. So that's the thing, man. Teams that are aggressive, and those are the ones that win. Those are the people that get there. Those are the people that make things happen. Because listen, the Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't be a dynasty if they didn't trade up to get Patrick Mahomes. The Kansas City Chiefs probably wouldn't have won their first championship if they didn't go out there and have a good free agency. Because you got to remember, what was their key signing the year that they won the Super Bowl? It was a wide receiver, right? Do y'all remember who they went and signed and paired with Tyreek Hill and paired with Travis Kelce? Do y'all remember that free agency, who they went and signed? Do y'all remember? He said, Choctaw, Montana, I understand why you feel that way. I understand. So what are we talking about? So yeah, man. So like teams that are aggressive. I wasn't thinking about Josh Gordon. It was the dude from the Bills. Oh damn. Oh, Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins. That's the kid's name. It said, Henny, Steven is aggressive at the Dollar Tree free agent signing. And that's the thing, though, bro. That's the thing. The positions that we need to be successful in 2024 aren't even positions that are expensive. Like the top linebacker only makes $20 million. The linebacker that we'll sign, the linebacker that we're going to sign is not going to be a $20 million linebacker. He's going to be an $8 million, $10 million linebacker. That's the kind of linebacker that we need. That's the kind of linebacker that we need. Right? We need a run stopping defensive tackle. We don't need a superior 3 tech. We need a good edge 1 tech. Those guys don't make all the money in the world. So all the guys that you need aren't even positions that are expensive. So that's why I don't understand why Stephen Jones, if he doesn't go out there and fill those roles and fill those needs, I don't understand what the hell he's thinking. Yeah, facts. Linebackers ain't gonna make that much money. Linebackers ain't gonna make this much money. Defensive tackles ain't gonna make that much money. And hell, even the running back market is low. Like they already have depreciated the running back position in the NFL. They've already depreciated it. So there's really no need to go bargain shopping at those positions when you already got it. Man, I'm glad that you brought up Ndamukong Suh, man. I'm glad that you brought up Ndamukong Suh. What did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do when they were moving on for Jameis Winston? Did they go out there and draft a quarterback, or did they just sign the GOAT? Right? Did they go out there and try and draft a quarterback in the first round, or did they just sign the GOAT? Right? They signed Tom Brady. They signed Antonio Brown. They signed Rob Gronkowski. Like they went and added Ndamukong Suh to put with Vita Vea. Like they made all kinds of super aggressive ass moves. They made all kinds of super aggressive ass moves to make their team better. Like if you just keep going down the line, like yeah, there's some good draft picks in there with them, but the free agents signings are what put all these people over the top. The trades for veteran players are what putting these teams over the top. Like even if the Dallas Cowboys go out here and they kill the draft, they go crazy in the draft and they get all these good players. We've seen this shit for the last 15, 16, 17 years. We've had great drafts. We had a draft where we got CeeDee Lamb and Trayvon Diggs in the same draft class. We had a draft class where we got Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott and Jalen Smith and all these other guys in the same draft class. Right? That shit don't, you know what I'm saying? That shit don't mean nothing if you ain't got a good free agent class to pair with it, or a couple good free agent classes to pair with it. He said, HTM, my only point is that I don't have a problem with the strategy. It's the people picking that are a problem. If you draft a player, don't have a real plan, it won't work. Same with free agents. But this is my pushback on the free agents and my pushback on the draft thing. Because in free agency, there's not really any, what's the word I'm looking for? There's not much mystery to it. Like a free agent is somebody that's been in the league for at least 4 years. I got 4 years of tape on you that I can use to decipher how good of an NFL player are you. You got stats in the NFL. You got tape in the NFL, right? I don't have to do too much projection for you because I've already seen you do it. For a draft pick, I don't even know if you're actually an NFL player when I draft you. I think you are, because I'm up here using your tape against other non-NFL players. What's up, cuz? Thank you for tapping in and showing love, bro. And I don't think I cussed anybody, but I am just saying this though, like it's not the same in that regard, because I'm trying to project you being an NFL player when I draft you out of college. And I'm drafting guys that may not have played top competition in college. It's a lot harder to hit on draft picks than it is to hit on free agents. You know what I mean? Like I've already have a substantial body of work for you as an NFL player. I already have a substantial body of work for you, in the NFL going up against NFL quality competition. You know what I mean? He said last big money signing was Everson Griffin, 1 year, $6 million. Ugh. And that's not even big money if you think about it, bro. Like he didn't make great money as an edge rusher. And that's the thing, man. You get what you pay for. You know what I'm saying? Like you get what you pay for. They paid for Leonard Floyd, who was a former first round pick. They paid for Von Miller, who was already a Super Bowl champion, one of the best edge rushers of our thank you. Free agent is production, draft is projection. 100% correct. 100% correct. Right? What was that boy we got from Tampa? Man? Jared McCoy. Jared McCoy got no snaps with Dallas. He got hurt before the season even started, rehabbed over here and left. You know what I'm saying? Like he definitely gave us not a damn thing. So yeah, man, that's when you look at all these teams, man, that actually win championships. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that none of their draft picks contributed anything. That would be a bold-faced lie. That's not what I'm trying to tell y'all. But what I am trying to say is you have to pair that draft class with a couple of good free agent classes as well, right? Because listen, at the end of the day, man, when you go to war, you never supposed to send a child to do a man's job, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys have been doing with their current form of roster building. That's what they're doing with their current form of roster building, man. There are some things in life that needs a grown ass man to do it. You know what I'm saying? Said McCoy had an injury clause. It said free agency is a chemistry experiment. You have a scouting report on that player, but he's a grown man. You get to interview these kids. You're right that you have film. We don't know them in-house. I mean, that also go to culture, though. Because did anybody care about the character or the chemistry of signing Charles Haley, who was a head case? Did anybody care about the chemistry of signing a Deion Sanders, who was one of the most flamboyant, brash players in the National Football League at the time? Like, chemistry and shit is only an issue when you don't have good culture. So maybe in the case of the Dallas Cowboys, that might be prevalent because we've been talking about the culture in Dallas for a very long time. But chemistry, you know, to that point and extent, that's something that bad teams deal with. Teams with good coaching, good locker room culture, and things like that don't too much care about chemistry. Like Nick Bosa is a super conservative far-right dude living in the Bay, and they don't give a damn about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, his ideologies don't even mesh with his teammates, and they love the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, chemistry and personalities and stuff, that stuff come into play when you don't have a good culture in place. You know what I mean? Like, that comes to place when you don't have a good culture. So, hey, so you might have a point there with the Dallas Cowboys, because everybody is calling into question our culture. Facts. We traded for Charles Haley. And you got to remember, man, the Dallas Cowboys were signing free agents when we were winning. When was the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a championship without marquee players on the roster? When was the last time the Dallas Cowboys won championships without marquee players on the roster? We always signed high-name free agents when we were winning championships. We always had a team that looked like a all-decade team. We always had guys like that. We always had guys like that we used to pick up from other teams and get the most out of them. Deion Sanders wasn't drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. That man wasn't drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. So nah, man. The Dallas Cowboys got to get back to their roots. You know what I'm saying? What it do, man? What it do, Action Pal? Yeah, probably 2014, the last time we went out there. And, I tell you what, the 2007 Dallas Cowboys, that's a very good example of stacking your roster with talent. We know, hey, T.O. was that dude, man. T.O. was that dude. Think about that team. Think about the talent on that team. So, yeah, man, you get results. You get what you pay for in the NFL most times, bro. Like, if you're paying to be able to win a championship, you'll probably win a championship. If you're paying to be able to stop the run, you'll probably be able to stop the run. If you're paying to be able to throw the ball all around the yard, you'll probably be able to throw the ball all around the yard. We just have to admit there is an element of luck to this. There's luck, there's that health, there's luck during the season. But you also got to admit there's a level of effort to it. Like, I agree, there are some things, you get lucky bounces, you get called to go your way, you get blessed for people to stay healthy. But you also got to actually try. You know what I'm saying? You also got to actually try. And the Dallas Cowboys have not tried. They have not tried to add marquee players in free agency. They have not tried to be aggressive in the draft and move up and get good franchise altering talent. They have not tried. Right? You remember they said you at least get an A for effort and shit? Like, they get an F. They're not even trying to build a roster in that manner. They're not being aggressive in any aspect or any facet of team building. They are going to either sit where they're at or they're going to trade back. They're not going to aggressively move up to get a player. They're not going to aggressively sign big name players in free agency. Have you ever noticed all of the best players that we have gotten are old, right? Or old and cheap. J. Ron Curse came over here, revitalized his career, right? played good enough to get the green dot in this defense with Dan Quinn. That man is like a former 6th or 7th round pick that been on 2 other teams before he got here. Like nobody was checking for J-Ron before he got here. Right? You also got to remember we love the Brandon Cook signing. That man is a 30-year-old wide receiver on his 30th team. Not really 30, but you get my drift. Right? We loved getting Stephon Gilmore. That man was 33 years old when we traded for him. Listen, I definitely loved the Anthony Barr signing at first. That man was long in the tooth. So the Dallas Cowboys, when we think about all the people that we go out there and sign and bring in, they're not in their prime. They're a little bit over the hill. They got a little bit of gray coming into their beard and shit, man. Like the Dallas Cowboys do not get young, franchise-altering talent in free agency at any position. They don't. Everybody that they sign is 30 plus. You know what I mean? They never go out there and sign veteran talent that still got a little bit left in the tank. You said Barr was a good signing, but used him wrong. That might be the case. But I wrote a whole damn article on that, man. I wrote a whole damn article about Anthony Barr getting us over the hump, and I looked a damn fool after that. So I'm gonna forever have PTSD surrounding Anthony Barr after that. I think they import leadership through free agency. That might be an issue too. That might be an issue. If none of your homegrown dudes are leading in the locker room, that's an issue. Said after extending that, they should be no question to sign Derrick Henry as soon as we can. Go even further, man. Go even further. If you're going to go ahead and sign a running back, you might as well try and get Josh Jacobs if that's the case. Said OG said, what position would you go with in the first round? I think the only positions that make sense in the first round are offensive line and wide receiver. And this is why. Bro. I'm going to tell y'all this. I mean, there's 3 positions, actually. Offensive line, wide receiver, corner. Those are really the only 3 positions that make sense for the Dallas Cowboys because of this. 1, there's not a running back with a first-round grade. There's not a linebacker with a first-round grade. There's not a safety with a first-round grade. So we could throw those out. You're not going to take a quarterback in the first round. So you could throw that out. So what's left? Wide receiver. You're not going to take a tight end in the first round either. You just spent a second-round pick on a tight end last year. So you can take that out as well. So out of process of elimination, those are the only positions available. And you either A, take an offensive lineman early because there are not many good offensive linemen in this year's draft. B, you take a wide receiver early because it is a great wide receiver class. And the first round wide receivers can probably come in, be plug and play for you, and be on your team for the next half a decade on the other side of CeeDee Lamb after you lock him up. Or C, you sign a cornerback, right? Because you already know, that's why I said offensive line. No, I said offensive line. It could be a center or a tackle. It could be a center or a tackle because 1, you got to re-sign Tyler Biadasz. 2, we already know that Tyron Smith is not going to play that many more years in the NFL. So you're gonna need those positions any damn way down the line. I don't think that they'll ever move Tyler Smith again because he made an all-pro selection where he's at right now. Nor do I think Tyler Smith or his agent will want to be moved again because all pros mean money. I do not know if he can be an all-pro tackle, but he already has shown he could be an all-pro guard. If he keep making all-pro money, he'll be paid like an all-pro. So I think in the mind of Tyler Smith and his agent, like there's no question that they're going to want to stay at guard. They're going to want to stay at guard. Because I tell you what, even though tackles make more money than guards do, all pro guards will make more money than an average tackle. Not saying he's an average tackle, but if you're not a marquee tackle, you're not going to get that kind of money. All pro guards are going to reset the market. So yeah, I believe he'll stay right there at guard. He's incentivized to stay there at guard at this point. But yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about, sneaky needs. So I'm glad that you asked that question, bro. So let's go ahead and talk about some sneaky needs for the Dallas Cowboys. Because the Dallas Cowboys have some positions that are aging out and that they need to fill back in. We're not really talking about it, but y'all know that Jordan Lewis is probably not going to be a Dallas Cowboys next year. Right? They're probably not going to resign that man. Y'all know that Stephon Gilmore is old. He probably got a year left if you re-sign him. So you're getting very thin at the cornerback position. And I haven't seen enough from Eric Scott to say that he's the answer out there at corner. Right? I haven't seen enough from Eric Scott to say that he could be the answer out there at corner just yet. Now, we did see that our boy Al Harris stuck around, so he'll get the opportunity to keep coaching him up and helping him develop. But it's getting real 2022-ish at the cornerback spot. Because you remember we were just throwing everybody out there opposite of Trayvon Diggs and hoping shit would work out. Now, here comes the question. Are you going to move the Ron Bland back to the slot? Or are you going to keep the Ron Bland, as an outside corner? Either way, there's going to be a cornerback position that needs filling. Either you're going to need another slot, or you're going to need another boundary corner. And you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do about it. It's either going to be this year or next year, because Gilly is still a stop place. He's still only going to be a stopgap right at that point. Wide receiver, we're talking about cutting Michael Gallup. You know that, right? Like, Michael Gallup is probably going to be a cap casualty because you save about $10 million cutting him, and then you only have one more year of Brandon Cooks. So I would rather be proactive than reactive to filling that role at the wide receiver position, because there is no guarantee that the draft class or the free agency class in 2025 will be worth a damn. There is no guarantee that the 2025 draft class will be as good as this one. There's no guarantee that the 2025 free agency class will be worth looking into. So you got one of the better wide receiver draft classes right now that you can go and pluck somebody from. And it don't even have to be first round. You can get an offensive lineman in the first and a wide receiver in the second, and I can live with that, right? Willie T, in order to trade somebody, you need somebody else who's willing to trade for him. What has Michael Gallup done in 3 years for a team to give up assets to want him? What has Michael Gallup done in 3 years to make a team say, I'm going to give you a draft pick for that boy? Who wants Michael Gallup? We don't even want Michael Gallup. Man, hell no. Use your discernment with this. Brandon Cooks had 2,000-yard seasons and a 700-yard season, and he only went for a 5th-round pick. That man went for a 5th-round pick. So Michael Gallup, who's had under 500 yards the last 3 seasons, is going to get you a what? He's going to get you a what? I tell you what, if you can convince me somebody will give a 7 or a 6th-round pick for Michael Gallup, have at it. But I'm going to operate under the impression that Michael Gallup is not going to be wanted. And, like, dog, the Chiefs probably would take a wide receiver in the 1st round at this point. They'll probably take the best wide receiver left. Yeah, and Michael Gallup has an injury history. So he has an injury history. His production has failed. And they didn't trade for him either. They signed Noah Brown as a free agent. They didn't give up anything to get Noah Brown. And they signed that boy for peanuts. So that's not even a good comparison. And you forget Noah Brown had a better season than Michael Gallup. You said that like Noah Brown didn't have a better season than Michael Gallup. Yeah, no. You said they don't want young rookie. Bland is a better tackler than Diggs, maybe. Listen, there is not a single person on their roster that will prevent them from drafting another wide receiver. There's not a single person on their roster that would stop them from drafting another wide receiver. Because Sky Moore hasn't done anything. The boy that they traded for was a healthy scratch. The only player that they like in their receiving core is Rashee Rice. They said a bunch of shit. And listen, nobody is that foolhardy to tell you their draft plans. He said, we suck at trading. What was the last time Dallas won on a trade? We never went on a trade, which is an even better reason on why they're not going to trade Michael Gallup. It said it's all about technique. You got to find someone who really need a veteran on the roster as a backup. So yeah, if you could convince me that somebody will give up a 6th or a 7th round pick for Michael Gallup, cool. That's fine. But as of right now, I feel like they're going to give up. Right now, I feel like they're going to give up and just cut him post June 1st because you'll save $10 million. You'll save about $10 million. Now, I'm sure they would love to get a extra draft pick, so we don't have any draft picks, but you know. He said you could probably say Brandon Cooks. My boy said Cooper DeJean. And hey, I'll give you that. I'll give you Gilly and Brandon Cooks both for 5th round picks. But hey, those Stephen Jones specials we be talking about. 2 30-year-old dudes that are not quite in their prime. Maybe Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was a win. Trading for Amari Cooper was a win. I can agree with that. But yeah, man, so sneaky needs. We already covered why a cornerback is going to be a need. We already covered why wide receiver will be a need. Because you're finna cut one, and you only got a year left on another aging one. So either A, you can give Brandon Cooks an extension, which I don't think they'll do, or you can just go ahead and get his replacement on the team. Because you're going to need another wide receiver regardless. Defensive end, Tyrone Church, I'm glad that you be keeping up, bro. So how many defensive ends are we finna lose? We're finna lose a bunch of them, aren't we? Because I don't know if you know this, but DeMarcus Lawrence is getting a little bit older. So how old is DeMarcus Lawrence? How much longer do you think DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be a Dallas Cowboy? You know you're not going to re-sign Dorrance Armstrong. He's going out the door. You know you're not going to re-sign Dante Fowler. And y'all don't even like Sam Williams like that. You know, Sam Williams is a 250-pound gunner at this point. That man plays more special teams than he does defense. So I'm not really even counting Sam Williams in that number of defensive ends and pass rushers. So you don't got much longer for DeMarcus Lawrence. DA is going to be gone this year. Dante Fowler is going to be gone this year. And Sam Williams has not done anything in the first 2 years of his career to make me say give him more snaps. So is defensive end not a positional need for you? And remember, I said, y'all don't rock. That's fine. You can rock with him all you want. That man got you 8 sacks in 2 years. Whoop-de-damn-do. There are people that mad at Michael Parsons for getting 14. So he doesn't do enough. But y'all are happy with Sam Williams blowing up punters and shit, getting 15-yard penalties, extending drives, and not being productive on the field. Yeah, y'all can have it. Y'all can have Sam Williams. Yeah, potential don't pay bills. We're all potential millionaires, man. What is in the everybody bank account right now? Potential don't pay no bills. So yeah, he got talent. Nobody can deny he got talent. He also a fuck up. So it is what it is. So yeah, there's nobody on the roster that's gonna make me say not get a defensive end, especially when you got one that's aging. You got one that aging, two that out the door, and three that ain't did shit. Yeah, man, yeah, like, listen, I like Sam Williams as a person. But that man got 8 sacks in 2.5 years. That man played more special teams than he do defense. So I don't know. Maybe Mike Zimmer can whip him into shape. Maybe year three will be a good year for him, but it's not going to stop me from getting another person. Yeah, you also got to earn snaps. What has Sam Williams done to earn extra snaps? That's also part of development. What has he done to earn you extra snaps? Can you even trust him to play a prolonged period of time without giving you a back-breaking penalty? And hey, maybe Mike Zimmer will help him out. Maybe Mike Zimmer will help him be more, what's the word I'm looking for to not be a fuck up? What's the word I'm looking for somebody that makes mistakes? More, he needs to be more, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe poised, discipline. There we go. Discipline. I don't know how that slipped from me like that. Did the sound disappear? Sound, yeah. Careful, discipline, all those words. Yeah, so like he needs to be better. Nobody's denying that Sam Williams got talent. I was high on Sam Williams coming out of college because he produced in the SEC. Right? It's hard to get sacks in the SEC. But I also have to be honest about what he's done in the NFL up to this point, and it's not too much. Not too much. I mean, my dog, you can't beat out Dorrance Armstrong for snaps? You can't beat out Dorrance Armstrong for snaps? You're the second round pick. Hey, what's up, Miss Patrice? 4 Flats, what's up with you? They were tapping in and showing love to the liquor store. But yeah, like, you got to be disciplined, man. You got to be disciplined. I can't have you jumping off sides and roughing the passer and blowing up punters when we put you out there on special teams. You can't do that and expect me to give you more snaps. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing enough with the snaps I give you. Said we need to trade for Isaiah Land. You know that dude we had and cut. Boy, tell me about it. Yeah, politics was a problem in Dallas. You said you think that Zen gonna bring that SEC Sam out. All right, cool. So if he's like that, if he's as talented as y'all say, then it ain't gonna matter who we bring in, right? He's gonna beat them out and earn those snaps, right? So since everybody's gonna play the snaps that they earn under Zimmerman, I keep calling him Zimmerman. If everybody's gonna play the snaps that they earn under Zim, then it shouldn't be a problem to bring another defensive end in, right? Because you're finna lose 2 any damn way. You're finna lose 2 when you got another old one. So you still need a defensive end regardless. So if he's like that, if he's the person y'all say he is, he'll earn those snaps, won't he? Hey, if he's like that, he'll play. Since you said it was coaching and politics the last time. So a whole new coach, whole new defensive scheme. Let's see what Sam Williams do. And that still ain't going to stop me from getting a defensive end. Said, what was DA doing? Getting sacks? Getting more sacks than him? Not jumping off sides? Not committing penalties? You know, contributing to your team actually winning? He a free agent. Danielle Hunter is a free agent. And I like Danielle Hunter. I think he's a free agent anyway. Hold on. You might have to trade for Danielle Hunter. Oh, no. Hold on now. Danielle Hunter looks to be a free agent. Looks like he only got dummy years left on that contract. Yeah, Danielle Hunter, free agent. We Gucci. If you want Danielle Hunter, you can get Danielle Hunter. Yeah, if you want Danielle Hunter, you can get Danielle Hunter. Yeah, like even if you believe in Sam the Slam Williams, you still need depth. You still need to replace Dorrance Armstrong. You still need to replace Dante Fowler. So you'll still need another defensive end. Now, are you going to do that through free agency? Do you want a veteran pass rusher? Do you want a young guy to develop? Yeah. Like DA had 7.5 sacks alone this year. Like Sam got like 8.5 in the last 2 years. So I like Hunter, but not at 20. Yeah, if he's going to be a $20 million a year player, that's going to be rough. His last contract was 1 year, $17 million. So he's an unrestricted free agent this year. So the question is, will he take 15? Will he take 13? You know, what's the money? What's the money looking like for Danielle Hunter in the 2024 free agency? Yo, what's up with you, Dunny Holmes? Thank you for tapping in and showing love. My boy Mark Hospian with the $5 super. He said, we have 2 good cornerbacks and number 11. Tank solid. Everyone else is a body and hyped up. Dak is solid, but his stats come from blowing out bad teams. JJ is killing us. Well, I appreciate you for the $5 super, but I have some pushback on that. In regards to Prescott. If you look at his numbers against teams with winning records, they're still good. Right? If you look at his numbers against teams with winning records this year, they're still good. So we had 8 games with against teams with winning records, and he still put up pretty damn good numbers. Like he was 2 touchdowns, no picks against Miami. Had what should have been a game-winning drive. Defense gave up the ghost. He had a bunch of yardage, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick against the Lions. Against the Philadelphia Eagles, who were an 11-win team. He was 5 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Against the Seattle Seahawks, he was 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, good passer rating, good completion percentage. He really only struggled in 2 games this year. Well, 3 games. He really only struggled against two winning teams. He struggled against the 49ers, who everybody does, and then he struggled against Buffalo in a rain game. Outside of that, his numbers against teams with winning records are actually pretty good. So, you know, and realistically, you play more teams over the course of a season with losing records or low or, you know, average records than you do teams with winning records. There's not really too many teams with winning records in the NFL any given season. Because even teams that make the playoffs, some of the people that make the playoffs got losing records. So, you know. But that is my slight pushback on that in regards to that. But I do appreciate the love. I mean, hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion in the liquor store and on these platforms. You know, you don't have to necessarily agree with it, but it is what it is. You know, at this point, there are some people that like Dak Prescott. There's some people that are in the middle with him. And there's some people that are heads over heels in love with him for some reason. But, you know, everybody has opinions on different players. There's some people that don't like Michael Parsons. There's some people that don't like Trayvon Diggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But, you know, I generally deal with the numbers and the analytics. The numbers don't say that Dak Prescott only puts up good numbers against winning against bad teams. So, you know, we'll let the numbers be the deciding factor on that. Said, I mean, it's fine. Like, everybody's entitled. Listen, we let the Quincy come in here and say crazy shit about people for free. So, you know, at least Mark was nice enough to send a $5 super chat. So salute to Mark and showing love to the platform. Because there'll be people in the chat box talking crazy for free. So we can at least acknowledge folks that pay for their comments. Is there any back in this draft you feel comfortable leading your backfield this year? No. Leading? No, because the way I want to construct my running back room, because remember, you need an entire running back room. You don't just need one running back. You need about 3. You need about 3 running backs. So I need a veteran running back and I need a young guy. I need to go the route that the Detroit Lions went. I need to pair a veteran running back with a good electrifying young running back, so I can have a great tandem in the running back room. So, yeah, I'm still not relying on solely a rookie. Kenny, you only look at numbers and analytics. That's all I need to look at, because the film also backs the numbers and analytics. Right, the film 9 times out of 10 is going to back the numbers. For example, if you're on film and you're missing a wire and you're missing your target, or you're throwing behind and you're throwing the ball behind your wide receiver, or you're throwing the ball at your dude's feet, I'm pretty sure I can pull up the numbers and you got a bad on target throw percentage, right? So I can still pair the numbers with the film, or I can pair the film with the numbers. Right, so disregard that. There are other things that you can look, because you need context for certain things. Like numbers by themselves without the context is something that I don't do. But I add context with the numbers. Right, even with this conversation that we just had about Dak puts up numbers against teams with bad records. Like that's you can obviously look at the teams that he played with winning records, see what the numbers he put up against them was, and you can disprove that. So you need context with anything. So I just can see Dallas bargain shopping at running back. So to be honest, our best option would be draft, in my opinion. I mean, this the thing. If I already told y'all my stance on it. If the Dallas Cowboys neglect free agency and only focus on the draft, we will not win a Super Bowl in 2024. Like, I'm not even going to go into the season with that expectation. If you're trying to win a Super Bowl, you need to pair a fire-ass draft with a fire-ass free agency class. If they only do one and not the other, like even on the other side, if they only get good free agents and they don't pair it with a good, so each player and team would disprove some numbers. How so? Because they keep their own numbers too, right? The teams don't always agree with the analytics of ESPN and shit, because they have their own grading system. They have their own plus and minus system when they watch the coach tape. So just because they disagree with ESPN does not mean they disagree with numbers. They just have their own numbers. Just like PFF has their own numbers that are different from ESPN analytics. So they're still using numbers to make their designations and everything else. They just don't always agree with other people's numbers on their people. But they do have a plus and minus system that they use when grading their players. Said Bruce got the toxic juice. If your team ain't the Chiefs, you can sit the hell down somewhere. It said we seen some bad players go to other teams and shine. Why? Because that's a different system, different everything else, different players that they're throwing to. And who said that they were a bad overall player where they were? Who was around them? What were their protection looking like? Like, you can still discredit that by asking for a quarterback, right? We seen quarterbacks go to a different place and shine. What were their protection like in their last place? What were their wide receivers looking like where they were playing at? Did the wide receivers get open, right? What were these other things around the quarterback that affected their ability to play? There still are context and numbers around that as well. So again, that still doesn't disprove anything. The world is numbers. Like your heartbeat, but why does your heart beat? What the joltage of electricity running through your body to make your body function the way it's supposed to be? How fast do your neurons shoot off? Like, there's still numbers in everything, in every aspect of life. Said breaking news: the Dallas Cowboys have signed running back. He can't be touched. Law will have the video on in 30 minutes. What the hell? Hey, shout out to Law Nation, man. Like, that man be having miniature documentaries. Yeah, exactly, DC. Numbers are the universal language of the universe. I agree. Everything run on numbers, man. Everything. I said, I've seen some people we value in Dallas go straight to the couch and stay there. Hey, which is true. Hey, Law be going crazy, man. Shout out to Law Nation. Shout out to Law Nation, bro. It said, this is why I fucks with the liquor store and its scientific accuracy. Yeah, man, there's a reason behind everything. There's a reason behind everything. Remember when people we were talking about the Philadelphia Eagles? Nah. When has 2 not been 2 in your life? When has 2 not been 2? Now you can what you meant to say is you can use numbers to deceive people, but the numbers themselves don't lie. Because you don't have all the context with the numbers. There are some numbers missing from the equation that you're trying to show to people. Right? Just like we talked about the Eagles. Yeah, they won. They did this. They did that. But the point differential said they were similar to teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers back from 2020 when they started off hot and they folded. Right? The numbers said that. And that's exactly what happened to them. Yeah, numbers ain't never lied to you. Your understanding of numbers and grasp of numbers have lied to you. Or you let somebody manipulate you with numbers without the full story. Because the numbers have numbers too. You just be leaving out parts of the overall equation. It said, nah, your perception can be altered, but the truth will always be just that. Facts. Thank you, Action Pal. Numbers don't lie, but they can be manipulated. And that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to show y'all all the numbers and all the context in regards to what's going on. Like, you can use numbers out of context to paint a picture. Right? If I told you Dak Prescott's record against team with winning records is this, it's a losing record, right? And I just throw that out there, it looks bad. But when I put into the context that all quarterbacks outside of a handful have losing records against teams with winning records, then you have the full context. The numbers aren't as jarring at that point, right? So you need context to go along with the numbers. But the numbers themselves aren't wrong. Like, Dak Prescott record against winning teams is a losing record. However, in the grand scheme of things, most quarterbacks do have, on average, a losing record against teams with winning records. Said, we seen the false numbers. ESPN love to show Dak is a bad quarterback, but we know it's not true. Yes, the numbers aren't false, though. They show numbers out of context, which I'm trying to get at. The numbers are the numbers. How you present the numbers is a different story. If you present the numbers in the proper context with all the rest of the numbers to show you what's going on, then you'll never be confused or manipulated like that. Because the numbers are true. It's just the way they present them is not true. See what I'm saying? The numbers did not tell a lie. The person showing you the numbers told the lie. That was linguistic and not analytic. There was a linguistic lie. They used their mouth to deceive people. But the numbers are what the numbers are. They just withheld information surrounding the numbers. It was like I said, it's a linguistical thing. That's more language. That's more art of deception. That's more cunning than anything. That's not really the numbers lying. Henny, Jimmy Johnson is there to rid Capboard of the politics. Why you think it took so long for Zimmer to sign? Hope so. We'll see what happens and plays out. All right, we'll see what happens and we'll see what happens and plays out. I don't necessarily know if it's a big thing, because listen, Jimmy Johnson, he said, "Damn, Henny, chill. Why you getting out all the sauce?" Yeah, man. I'm just saying, like listen, that's what y'all come to me for, man. That's what y'all come to me for. Like, I try to be just as blunt and straightforward with how, some of these numerical figures are manipulated by people. Right? Nobody ever said that people have used numbers to try and deceive people. But I'm just saying, like, if you add proper context, you add some other analytical stats to go along with the stat that you're looking at, or if you have other people numbers in the same exact sequences or same exact situations for a reference point, the numbers look different from that perspective. Yeah, like the language they use in court, which is very true. But yeah, man. But we've been on here for an hour and 20. I appreciate all y'all for showing love and support to the liquor store. Thank y'all for rocking. Thank y'all for supporting. I'm finna go ahead and shut the doors down to the liquor store for now. I'm gonna try and spin the block for Cowboys Uncut later on with Wes and Landlord, so we can chop it up a little bit more. Think about some questions y'all want to ask. We can get to those as well in the next show. But again, thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for rocking out. And like I said, I will try and be back on later on tonight, maybe about 6:30 or so, maybe 7, just depending on when Land get off. So thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. And I'm going to get at y'all. Hold on, you got us. Hold on, let me see what the kin folks said. The numbers did not tell a lie. The person showing you the numbers told a lie. Linguistics versus analytics. Preach, Henny. Hey, Henny, we can agree to disagree about the numbers. It's fine. But there's not really much to disagree about. Because 2 + 2 is 4. If anybody tells you otherwise, they're the lie and not the numbers. So God bless.